We often think of history as a straight line toward freedom, but in the year 2025, an ancient power structure is returning in a more modern form: digital feudalism. In the past, lords owned the land and serfs had to farm it in exchange for protection. Today, big tech corporations like Google, Microsoft, and Meta own the data lands and transcendent artificial intelligence models. You are no longer a free user. You are becoming a digital serf farming on their algorithms. The bottom line here is absolute dependence. As AI becomes smarter, you will no longer make important decisions on your own. From which stocks to invest in, how to handle a legal dispute, to diagnosing illnesses, you will have to consult an algorithmic lord. And of course, that intelligence is not free. It is a new kind of intellectual tax. Imagine a world where your every thought and decision must pass through a digital toll booth. If you want the most accurate financial advice to protect your assets, you must pay a monthly subscription fee to an entity that owns global data. If you want your children to have the most competitive educational path, you must pay taxes to the corporations holding the optimal learning models. This is no longer about selling products. This is about leasing thinking capacity. These lords do not need to own your body. They only need to own the operating system your brain uses to run your life. In this model, the middle class is gradually being erased to be replaced by a clearly hierarchical society. Those who own the algorithms and those who must pay to be guided by them. The danger of this feudalism lies in the fact that it is extremely smooth and convenient, making us voluntarily surrender personal sovereignty in exchange for optimization. But once you have lost the ability to make decisions without the support of machines, you have officially lost true freedom. We are witnessing the greatest transfer of power in history, from nation-states to borderless digital lords. And if you think you can stay out of this game, look at the phone in your pocket. That is the plot of land you are renting every day. The biggest difference between old feudalism and digital feudalism is the object of exploitation, not manual labor, but your cognitive ability. In the year 2025, we are witnessing the formation of an invisible but more devastating tax than any income tax. That is, the efficiency tax. Digital lords like Google or Microsoft do not need to coerce you. They only need to make thinking for yourself too expensive and slow compared to using artificial intelligence. Look at how a lawyer in New York City or an analyst in Hanoi works. If they research manually, it takes 10 hours. If they use AI, it takes 10 seconds. The bottom line lies here. When the productivity gap between an AI user and a non-user is 1,000 times, then thinking for yourself becomes an act of economic suicide. You are forced to rent a subsidiary brain from large corporations to survive in the labor market, and the price to pay is a portion of your permanent income in the form of subscription fees. This is a form of digital ground rent. Just as serfs of old had to give 1/3 of their crops to the landowner, you are giving a portion of your surplus value to those who own the large language models. These corporations are building extremely solid walled gardens, where they control the entire flow of information and data input of humanity. When you search for information on Google, you no longer receive neutral links. You receive answers directed by algorithms to keep you in their ecosystem. Every shopping decision, every investment choice of yours is subtly suggested to benefit the Lord's partners. We are moving toward a future where truth and knowledge are premium paid services, while the poor will have to consume streams of junk information and manipulative advertisements. This dependence creates a deadly loop. The more you use AI, the more you lose independent thinking skills, and the more you lose skills, the more you must depend on AI. Individual investors need to understand that big tech corporations today are no longer software companies. They are the cognitive creditors of the entire society. They are collecting the behavioral data of 8 billion people to turn it into a perfect market prediction tool, allowing them to know where you will spend money before you even know it yourself. In this feudalism, privacy is not just a lost right, but an asset confiscated to enrich the new ruling class. If you do not find a way to change your position in this power tower, you will forever be just a data unit optimized to bring profit to others. Once we have identified the formation of digital feudalism, the practical question is not how to topple the system, but how to avoid being drained by it. The bottom line here is very pragmatic. If you have to pay an intellectual tax every month to big tech corporations, the only way to get that money back is to own a piece of those very corporations. This is a vital hedging strategy in the year 2025. If you cannot beat the Lords, become part of their board of directors through stock ownership. Companies like Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, and NVDA are building impenetrable economic moats thanks to their data infrastructure and massive computing power. Instead of being just a passive consumer, a smart individual investor must view the monthly AI subscription fee as a fixed life cost, similar to electricity or water bills. To offset this invisible tax, you need to shift your capital into the stocks of the entities collecting that tax. A strategy proposed by many experts at Wall Street is to build an investment portfolio focused on the infrastructure of dependence. This includes semiconductor manufacturers, data centers, and owners of base AI models, those who will profit every time someone in the world performs a query or makes a computer-assisted decision. We are in a period where owning digital means of production is much more important than owning mere labor skills. In this new feudalism, the serf is the one who only knows how to use tools to work for hire, while the elite class are those who own the tools. Profit from dividends and capital growth of these corporations is the only way for you to restructure your cash flow, turning the fees you pay monthly into profit flowing back into your pocket. However, owning stocks is only half the battle. You also need to protect personal intellectual property so as not to be completely assimilated into the system. If you entrust your entire thinking to a system you do not own, you will lose competitiveness as soon as that system changes the rules or increases fees. The smartest strategy is to use the power of the Lords to build independent cash flow sources for yourself, instead of just working to enrich them. While owning the Lord's stocks helps protect you financially, the real battle lies in regaining control of the operating system of your own life. The core bottom line here is, in a system designed to turn you into a dependent, true freedom is only for those who know how to use technology without being owned by it. These people are called sovereign individuals, those who know how to leverage the Lord's intelligence to build their own kingdom, instead of just tenant farming on someone else's land. In the year 2025, we see a new trend. The best people no longer work for large corporations in San Francisco or Hanoi. They use the artificial intelligence of those corporations to run million-dollar one-person businesses. They use Google tools for market research, use Microsoft AI to write source code, but the ownership of the final product and customers belongs to them, not the platform. This is how you escape the serf life. You must transform yourself from a data provider into a system orchestrator. If you merely use ChatGPT to write reports for your boss, you are still a serf. But if you use it to build an automated trading algorithm or a content platform that brings in passive cash flow, you are becoming a small lord in your ecosystem. The biggest problem with digital feudalism is that it creates cognitive laziness, making humans lose the ability to be critical and ask questions. To maintain autonomy, you must practice data hygiene and maintain an independent knowledge source, not dependent on the suggestion algorithms of big tech. Never let a single entity control the entire tech stack of your life. Diversify your tools, use open source software when possible, and always keep the most strategic decisions for your own human brain. In the 21st century, knowledge is power, but only when it is knowledge you control, not knowledge rented by the hour. The polarization between owner and renter will be the greatest crack in future society. We are standing on the threshold of a completely new world order, where old rules of labor, privacy, and ownership are being torn apart by the power of algorithms. From the debt trap of the American lifestyle, the fierce polarization between the superhuman group and the useless group, to the rise of digital feudalism, all roads lead to a single conclusion. Passivity is economic death. The final bottom line that every audience of Economics X needs to remember is, this system is not designed to help you be free. It is designed to help you be optimal for someone else's profit. In the year 2025, freedom is not a granted right, but a skill that must be practiced. To avoid becoming a serf in the kingdom of Google or Microsoft, you must perform 3 decisive transformation steps. First, shift from a time seller to an asset owner, including stocks of tech corporations and physical assets like land or gold. Second, shift from a worker to a system architect, those who do not work for AI but direct AI to create breakthrough value. Third, Protect your own data fortress with quantum-resistant technologies and blockchain security, ensuring your secrets and autonomy are not put up for auction. The new world will have no room for the indifferent. You will either be the driver or the one being dragged along. The digital lords will continue to collect the intellectual tax, but they cannot tax your will and independent creativity if you know how to protect it. Do not let the convenience of free apps blind you to the real price you are paying with your own future. Stay sharp, invest in yourself, and remember that in the game of power and money, information is only valuable when you are the one who owns it, not the one providing it. This revolution will not be televised. It is happening right in your phone and your brain. The final question for you is, will you choose to be a shareholder of the future or its debt? The choice is in your hands, and the time to decide is running out with every line of AI code executed.